What's going on, guys? This might seem like a weird time for me to change my YouTube channel from just my name to Tsunami Studios, as I'm currently traveling back home for a couple weeks here. It's been fun, a lot of snow, which sucks, part of living in Canada, I guess. When you're in like the central Canada, it happens, what are you gonna do? Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content. There's definitely a lot more coming in. I promise I'm gonna get to the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel reviews. It's just been a hectic couple of days here for me. I haven't really had the chance to sit down and watch them all. I'm halfway through the season. Just my general viewing, I'm gonna go back, rewatch them all, and give myself a little bit more of a, hey, here's an analysis, let's go deep dive into this. But I thought I'd do a quick video. Let's talk about Crisis on Infinite Earths. CW, which has been going on for about 8 years now, started the whole universe of Stephen Amell as Oliver Queen. They've spanned into so much stuff. Batwoman just came out this year. A lot more shit coming their way. They're doing a Crisis. They're doing Crisis on Infinite Earths on TV. In a million years of comic book storytelling, did you ever think we are going to get to this point where the biggest event in comic history that launched decades upon decades of storytelling that changed the game in so many ways, had significant deaths that have stayed dead for longer than a lot of things have in comic continuity? To this day, I will still argue that the best thing Barry Allen has ever done was die in Crisis, and that Wally West is the best Flash, and that he's being treated so poorly over at DC Comics right now. That's not what we're going to go on a tangent about, though. Episode 1 came out. It started in Supergirl, which was fine. I have a very love-hate relationship with the CW. For instance, I think it's melodramatic, kind of overacted bullshit. There's some good stuff in there, not gonna deny that, but at the same time, there's a full season where everything doesn't matter and it's just overdramatic stupidity stuff. They do give us some great comic book references, some great stuff that we wouldn't see in the big screen. Like, who would have thought Crisis would be on TV before in a movie? That's amazing. So let's just quickly talk about this. Crisis on Infinite Earths is a weird place to launch if this little character is in the CW Arrowverse. I get why they're doing it. It's a big draw. You're getting rid of Stephen Amell. His show's coming to an end. Legends is probably going to come to an end soon, and who knows what's going on in The Flash. I haven't watched any of these shows in like 2 years. You can check out my reviews. The last review I did of The Flash and Supergirl and Arrow was the last time I watched the show. I don't even remember what happens. I remember Prometheus was an Arrow. That's a long time ago. I can tell you that already. A lot of good stuff was in this episode. It starts with the Monitor, who looks like the Monitor from Crisis. I really like that. I was really surprised they went that route. And Lila's in here. Lila is the girl who was Lila in Arrow, Diggle's wife. Because I know Lila in the comic book is a little different, a little more cosmic. I don't really know what this Lila's doing. And there's a version of Harrison, who I think is named Nash or something. I don't like any of the storyline of all the alternate Harrisons. That's stupid. Is Pariah. That's fine. That's okay. I got nothing against that. It's 2 integral characters from the Crisis comic book on the show now. That's really cool. Glad to see that happening. We start off seeing the death of a bunch of different Earths. The Tim Burton Earth. Yeah, Robert Wuhl is back, and we see that Earth get obliterated. We see Earth X get obliterated. There goes the Ray. All you guys that are a fan of the Ray, he's gone now. Titans. Why are we seeing Titans on here? That was so weird. I was like, what? What? And why did we choose Hawk and Jason Todd as the representations of Titans? Very bizarre choice. Is that Earth destroyed? They kind of messed that up, but best part of the episode to me, Burt Ward. Right in my heart. 66 Batman is my favorite version of the character. It's one of my favorite TV shows, and I just have such a fond memory of watching that and enjoying that show. Seeing him in here. Goodbye, Dick Grayson, our hero, our idol, our Robin. You didn't deserve this, but I'm so glad we got you in here for that. Then it's just the usual suspects of the Arrowverse. First time I saw Ruby Rose as Batwoman, she was pretty cool and interesting. She's very mean, and I like that. She seems like kind of a mean person. Very cool to see her. We spent a lot of time on something called Argo City, where Superman and Lois Lane have finally had Jonathan Kent, the best thing to happen to Superman comics in recent memory. So glad Jonathan Kent is now born and active in this, and Erica Durance is Supergirl's mom. This is a lot of information to throw at me for a guy who hasn't been caught up on the show. I don't know what Argo City is, no idea what's happening there. John Cryer is Lex Luthor. Didn't know that was happening. That's really cool to see. He's got a cool suit. looks like the comic suit. That's really cool. He's probably going to play a bigger part later on down the road because he wasn't really in this. He wasn't in this episode at all, actually, just in like the teaser for Crisis. Very cool stuff. Argo City is destroyed. Superman and Lois send Jonathan in a little pod to escape from the destruction, just like Alexander Luthor in the Crisis comic book, just like Superman when he escaped Krypton, and just with the dialogue of Marlon Brando from the 70s movie. You know what else is very good? The after show for this. I don't really want to talk about the after show, but it was great. Saw Danny Fernandez on it. Love that girl. Obsessed with her. Love her. Shout out to Danny Fernandez. I don't know her, just love her. She's great. Kevin Smith, always great. Mark Bernardin, great to see, and a lot of the cast and crew from the show. Very cool to see. Can't wait to see more of that. Definitely gonna watch more of the after show. Supergirl's Earth. It gets destroyed. That Earth gets destroyed. Billions of lives are lost. We see this is gonna be a serious cataclysmic event, but it's not because the actors are just not great. Nobody's acting really good in this. None of it really makes sense. I really like that Griffin Newman, who's on the Amazon's The Tick, is this kind of like trivia host at this bar, and we see Ray and Sarah playing a game, and you see that Ray kind of fucked things up with Janis Joplin, and she made a song about him. That was really funny. That was great to see. Not a lot of Barry in this, but of course Barry's going to play a big role. Something I didn't know though was Oliver made a deal with the Monitor that he will die instead of Barry and Kara, because in the comic books we all know that Kara and Barry are the ones that die. I thought that was really cool. And it ends with Oliver's death. Very anticlimactic. Is he going to be dead? I don't think he's actually fully dead. He might come back. We still got another episode of Arrow. Didn't know Mia was a character. She was fine. Again, I get what they're going for with this, and it's very close to the comics as you can do with this kind of television show. It just felt kind of dull and laid back, and the acting, man, the acting is not great on this show. It's not great for a lot of CW stuff, but I'm gonna watch all 4 other parts, but this was just kind of, it was the start. I hope it gets better, but I don't know. It wasn't what I wanted from this. And I understand I can't have what I want because that's too much going on, because the comic was just so extraordinary and extra, but you can't do that on a show like this. You have to have Stephen Amell and Grant Gustin and Melissa Benoist and, you know, Brandon Routh. You have to have those guys prominent, front and center, doing their stuff. There's a lot of interesting things happening that didn't really hit for me. And Ruby Rose is fine. I'm not gonna watch any of the shows. One show I'm gonna watch when it comes out is the Clark and Lois show with Tyler Hoechlin, and I can't remember Lois's name, but if we can get an aged up Jonathan Kent, now you're talking my language. That's what I want to see. And I'm excited for what's coming next, because John Cryer's Lex in that cool suit. I'd like to see that. Brandon Routh as Kingdom Come Superman, Kevin Conroy as Kingdom Come Bruce Wayne. Now you're talking about stuff I am interested in seeing. That's what we want to do. This episode was solid. A lot of good Supergirl stuff. Brainiac 5 was okay, but again, I don't care about these characters because I haven't watched the show long enough to actually be invested. I know how this is going to play out. Is Oliver really dead? I doubt it. And if he is really dead, if this is the final moments of Oliver, then I can say without a shred of self-doubt or questioning of myself in my choice, Stephen Amell's a terrible actor.